It's just a drinking straw. It's a simple little plastic tube. So, how on earth did this one tiny thing become a massive environmental battleground? Well, let's dive into the pretty wild story of the Straw Wars and figure out what is really going on here. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. The straw has become way more than just a tool for sipping your soda. It's now, as one source so perfectly put it, a potent symbol of the entire plastic pollution crisis. It's that one small, everyday object that suddenly represents this giant global problem. So, what was the spark that lit the fire? For the plastic straw, it all came down to one single, really difficult to watch video back in 2015. I'm sure a lot of you saw it, that heartbreaking footage of a sea turtle with a straw stuck in its nose. That one video just exploded online, and it changed how the public saw plastic straws, like almost overnight. And that brings us to the heart of the problem. Beyond the emotional gut punch of that video, what actually makes a plastic straw so bad for the environment? Well, here's the sneaky part. Plastic straws don't biodegrade. They don't just go away. Instead, they hang around for hundreds of years, breaking down into these teeny tiny fragments called microplastics. These things get everywhere, into our oceans, our soil, and they're a huge threat to wildlife and, yeah, potentially to our own health, too. And this isn't just about people choosing not to use them anymore. Governments are stepping in, big time. We've seen major cities like Seattle and DC bring in full-on bans. States like California and New Jersey have put restrictions in place, and the entire European Union rolled out a huge directive. This is a regulatory wave that's forcing businesses everywhere to find an alternative, and fast. So, when you get all this pressure from regular people and from governments, what happens? It creates a massive business opportunity. This whole thing has moved beyond just an environmental issue. It's now a gigantic new market. And just look at the numbers here. By 2025, the market for eco-friendly straws is expected to be worth over $12 billion. That's not some little niche product. That is a full-blown global industry. And it is not slowing down. Projections show that same market more than doubling to over $25 billion by 2035. This tells you this isn't some fad. It's a deep, long-term shift in how we do things. So what's fueling this crazy growth? Well, a huge piece of the puzzle is you. It's us, the consumers. Around 70% of people say they prefer businesses that use eco-friendly options. And when that many customers start voting with their wallets, companies really have no choice but to listen. Okay, so the industry rushes to respond with a ton of new options. The first wave of these are single-use, disposable alternatives. But as we're about to see, every single one of them comes with its own hidden catch. It's a real dilemma. All right, let's break this down real quick. Paper straws are everywhere. But come on, we've all had one turn into a soggy mess in like 5 minutes. Then you've got PLA, or bioplastic, which feels just like the real thing, but, and this is a big but, it needs special industrial facilities to actually compost. Things like sugarcane are a lot sturdier, but they cost more. And straws made from rice or wheat, super clever, but maybe not as durable. See, every single one has a trade-off. But wait, here's the real plot twist. To stop those paper and plant-based straws from getting soggy, they're often coated with something called PFAS. These are basically forever chemicals, they're man-made, they don't break down in the environment, and they're linked to some serious health problems. So the very thing that makes the quote-unquote eco-friendly straw work could be creating a totally different kind of pollution. Yikes. So if every single disposable option has a catch, it kind of begs the question, right? What if we just stopped throwing straws away in the first place? And this brings us to a whole other category of solutions built on a totally different idea. The reusable straw. This is about reducing waste from the get-go, not just swapping one kind of waste for another. But surprise, surprise, it is all about trade-offs here too. Stainless steel is super durable, right? But making it has a pretty high environmental cost up front, and there's even a small safety risk. Glass is beautiful. It doesn't add any taste, but, well, it's glass. It can break. Silicone is flexible and awesome for kids, but it's tough to get really clean and it's not biodegradable. And bamboo?
It looks cool, but it doesn't last as long, and some people say can make your drink taste a little woody.
Okay, and here's where the math gets really interesting. Reusable doesn't automatically mean better for the planet. Because making something like steel or glass takes a lot of energy, you have to hit a break-even point. You'd need to use a glass straw about 23 times and a steel one 37 times just to cancel out the impact of using one single plastic straw. The lesson here is pretty simple. A reusable straw is only the green choice if you actually, reuse it a lot. So after going through all of that, where does it leave us? It seems pretty clear there's no single, perfect, magic bullet solution. It's really about making a smart choice depending on the situation. So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that there is no perfect straw. The best one really depends on what you're doing. Are you drinking a hot coffee or a thick milkshake? What are the composting or recycling options where you live? And remember, a reusable straw is only a great option if you're actually committed to reusing it. And that label, eco-friendly, well, we've learned that doesn't always mean problem-free. It's all about understanding what you're trading for what. Ultimately, this whole debate pushes us to ask a much bigger question. Since the perfect problem-free straw doesn't seem to exist, at least not yet, the choice really comes down to our own values. Which problem bothers you more? A soggy straw, the need for industrial composting, or the hidden risk of forever chemicals? It makes you wonder, which trade-offs are we as a society and as individuals willing to make? Definitely something to think about next time you order a drink.